Hello and welcome to your favorite travel show, Tourismus Namibia. I'm your host, Glenora Shipura. Today's show is especially special because we are celebrating something else. NTV has turned 3 years old on the 8th of February 2025, and to celebrate, we will be having the NTV Annual Awards on the 12th of Feb. So make sure not to miss that for a night of glitz and glamour as we celebrate entertainment and news and so much more on the NTV space. Now getting into what you can expect in today's broadcast. Under topics, we discussed the progress that the Environmental Crimes Court has made, the offered for information about the culprits suspected of deliberately running over a flock of endangered Cape cormorants, and the responsibility to ensure all hunting activities, both locally and abroad, adhere to ethical and logical standards. Now, under destinations, we do take a look at the Kalahari Red Dunes Lodge near Kalkrand and the Abenab Lodge close to Grootfontein and Tsumeb. And to the point, we find out the latest about the air travel industry. We'll be right back with this and so much more. Getting into our topics, first up is the Environmental Crimes Court. The establishment of the first of its kind specialized Environmental Crimes Court in Oshuarongo has made progress in adjudicating wildlife crime-related cases since starting operations at the beginning of this year. The spokesperson of the Environment Ministry, Romeo Muyunda, said that this court focuses on environmental crime cases and it will improve the speed and response in handling wildlife crime cases, which in our view will assist in the prevention of wildlife crime, said Muyunda. Now, the court formally started operations in January 2025 following its inauguration by Vice President Dr. Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah in August 2024. Muyunda said that while several cases have already been heard, staff are hard at work establishing a court role and transferring cases from other courts in the region which fall within its jurisdiction. The court is staffed with a dedicated magistrate and a senior prosecutor whose sole focus will be wildlife and general environmental crimes. This is definitely a step in the right direction in terms of safeguarding the wildlife and nature in general. Now, getting into our next topic, a reward of $10,000 Namibian has been offered for information about the culprits suspected of deliberately running over a flock of endangered Cape cormorants in the Dorop National Park last month, killing and injuring at least 50. Officials from the Fisheries and Marine Resources Ministry discovered the dead birds at Canopy on Friday, the 17th of January. However, the suspects have not yet been caught. The ministry's Chief Inspector Gabes Shekutamba said they were patrolling the beach when they passed two large flocks of birds. At a third flock, Shekutamba noticed some birds struggling to fly. He caught one and realized its leg was broken. It is alleged that a 4x4 vehicle was used to plow into the flock of birds on the beach, causing multiple deaths and injuries. Now, from the tracks, it appears the vehicle accelerated just before plowing into the flock. At least 50 birds died instantly, with many more injured. He said it looked like the vehicle then stopped and people got out barefoot, possibly to remove birds that were stuck to the vehicle's front grille. From there, the tracks lead directly to the road. Cormorants are well known for their slow takeoff, meaning the birds likely could not move out of the vehicle's path in time. According to the ministry, the population of these seabirds in Namibia has declined by 57% over the past 30 years. This is definitely very concerning. There is a reward if you have any information regarding the possible suspects who might have done this. Now, moving on to our next topic. As hunting professionals, the Namibia Professional Hunting Association said that they are privileged to operate in a continent rich in biodiversity, where sustainable hunting plays a key role in conservation. However, this privilege comes with the responsibility to ensure all hunting activities, both locally and abroad, adhere to ethical and legal standards. He said that the Organization of Professional Hunting Association of Africa, OPHAA, has set guidelines to regulate cross-border hunting, ensuring it remains sustainable, lawful, and beneficial to conservation. NAPA said that when hunting outside one's home country, professionals must respect the host nation's regulations, include legal registration, ethical conduct, transparency, and honesty. It said that collaboration among African hunting associations, governments, and conservation bodies is key to preserving hunting as a tool for wildlife management and economic sustainability. A unified approach safeguards the profession, protects wildlife, and supports rural communities. And that concludes our first segment. Do let us know what you think of these stories on our social media pages. On the other side of the break, we get into the destinations that you should definitely travel to. First up on our destinations is the Kalahari Red Dunes Lodge. Now, Joshua Ndefehambo, the assistant manager of the Kalahari Red Dunes Lodge, tells us all about these luxury resort hidden on the outskirts of the Kalkrand village. Let's take a look.
Okay, my name is Joshua Ndefehambo. I'm an assistant manager at Kalahari Red Dunes Lodge. And Kalahari Red Dunes Lodge, it's a lodge situated in the B12 Mariental, and it's 2 kilometers from the gate to the main building. And our big five from the main gate, you see some animals, giraffe, and some impala, some springbok, and also some kudu also, and ostrich also. And Kalahari Red Dunes, it's a nice lodge, and mostly we're expecting guests from overseas, like Germany, Switzerland, Netherlands, and also some from Italy also sometimes.
What has your experience been like working here for the past 9 months?
So my experience is I really like the place, and we always accept our guests, and we learn from the guests also, and also just to welcome our guests. And we have also some activity. We took our guests on activity, like we have also like sundowner drive, and we have morning drive also, and we have also guided walk, which is taking plus minus 2 hours. And we also do Trans Kalahari, where our guides have to go with the guests in the bush just for walking, and they have their breakfast in the bush, and their lunch in the bush, and sleep also in the bush. So everything is done in the bush, like breakfast and lunch and dinner, and they only come the next day morning time. So that's the experience which I experienced, and I never did it before. So it was a great experience for me.
What makes Red Dunes Lodge so special?
Okay, what makes Red Dunes so more special is we are offering some activity, and also the Kalahari walk, which is like for breakfast in the bush and lunch in the bush and dinner also in the bush. And also we are giving also some luxury rooms, like we have a superior rooms, superior 2 and superior 1. So that's make more Red Dunes special. Okay, so this is superior number 2, and it's mostly booked for family rooms. And it has also its own private swimming pool, as you can see, a sunbed also here. And then this one is just blowing away by the wind, and we are busy doing the box for it here, so that you can just put it inside when it's raining or when it's raining. So you can just go inside of superior the rooms have alarm in case if something any movement in the night, then the alarm is
Now, up next in our destinations is Abenab Lodge, tucked away in the picturesque surroundings of Grootfontein. This privately owned farm is conveniently located just 24 kilometers from Grootfontein and 40 kilometers from Tsumeb. It is the ideal stopover for those traveling to some of the region's top destinations. So do make your way there if you're finding yourself that side of Grootfontein or Tsumeb. Let's take a look at this wonderful destination.
My name is Loana Mbwale. I'm the founder of Abenab Lodge, which was the previous mine. And the mine was specializing in vanadium, copper, zinc, and lead. And the mine was owned by the British and Germans. The history on current technology is saying that Abenab was start operating in 1920. But the papers we are having are more than that, because they are saying this mine started operating in 1918. So whereby the first EPL was signed off in 1908 in London. So why are we talking about Abenab Lodge and not Abenab Mine? Because this is the only mine in Namibia which is turned into a tourism facility. And it's historic. While we are not only offering accommodation, food, and bar, but we have quite a lot of activities. We are also boasting of the second largest man-made open pit in the world, which is 215 meters deep and 180 meters wide. So on top of that, we have a zip line across the open pit. That is the thrill. And while we are also talking about the pit, we are saying people should come to Abenab, not only to experience the open pit, but also to experience the tunnels. Because sometimes we take our guests to the tunnels. Everything is done at a price, of course, as in any normal hospitality industry. And again, for us, we have a history to tell, because this is not only the pit, but we have old houses, old compounds. Even though they are destroyed, distracted, still they tell a story. The mine itself closed in 1958, but we are the fourth generation to occupy Abenab Farm, and hence we say we are the founder of Abenab Lodge. The lodge has got 13 rooms, which are fully air conditioned. We offer food, like we have a restaurant, we have a bar, and more so, we also offer camping sites. If you feel exhausted and done with, if you want to get away from the sirens of the city, come to Abenab. This is where the peace and tranquility is. And more so, how will we deal with that? We have a hydro spa. Our hydro spa really will take all the stress out of you. You will come out younger, fresh, rejuvenated, and more so 10 years younger. So most of the people are saying, why should we choose you? We are not far from town. We are only 24 kilometers away from Grootfontein, 40 kilometers on the dot from Tsumeb, We are in the middle. And as a result, if you want peace and privacy, if you want your event, be it baptism, confirmation, wedding, engagement, we can always allocate a place for you because we have all those unique spots. Very beautiful spots because, as I said, Abenab is an old place whereby the word itself means climbing river. And 800 millions ago, this place was a shallow sea. If it is a shallow sea, it means that it was underwater. Today we are sitting on the grounds, the water has subsided, but the stones are black, meaning that the algae remained. So why don't you want to be part of us? Why don't you want to be enjoying what we are enjoying? The bush. There is only peace in the bush, nothing else. And I thank you.
That's all we have for you under destinations, but do not go away. We get on to some news about the Namibia Airports Company on the other side of the break. Getting to the point, the Namibia Airports Company, NAC, Dan Kamati, has described 2024 as a stellar year owing to its hosting of the Adhere Deaf Africa Summit, as well as the launch of air travel services by Fly Angola, which launch routes between Windhoek and Benguela and Luanda in Angola, as well as by low-cost carrier Fly Safar between Windhoek and Cape Town, South Africa. According to Kamati, the Hosea Kutako International Airport is also drawing prominence as a key transit point, as several airlines are in engagements for landing rights through that airport into Namibia. Let's take a look.
My name is Sukhone, and welcome to this week's edition of To The Point. Joining us in studio is the spokesperson of the Namibia Airports Company, Dan Kamati. Welcome to The Point.
Good evening. It's good to be here.
What are the Namibia Airport Company's expectations in terms of its projections for 2025, with the year just having started off?
First of all, let's just recap on 2024. It was a great year, 2024. We've seen a lot of things that happened. Of course, we hosted the Aviation Development Conference in June at Mercure Hotel, where we brought over 500 aviation experts to Windhoek, and we spoke to them. They spoke to so many people around that were in attendance, and we learned a lot from them, and we continue to do so. And the collaborations and the relationships that we have built with them goes a long way. Of course, we know that after that we saw the introduction of FlySafair Cape Town to Windhoek. We also saw Air Botswana touching down, connecting Namibia to Windhoek to Gaborone. And towards the end of the year, we also saw Fly Angola coming in as well, a private airline linking Luanda, Benguela, and Windhoek as well. So these are really good things that we should talk about, and it really to recognize the importance of tourism to this country. And I think what we have done as Airports Company in support of that, we are really grateful for the opportunity that we have as Airports Company to really facilitate the movement of people in and out of this country. 2025, of course, we are expecting more of that to happen. We are expecting for more airlines to call into Windhoek again, and we have already started speaking to 3 or 4 airlines as early as January, and at an opportune time, necessary announcements will be made, and we're really looking forward to a very fruitful 2025. Of course, in terms of your airport infrastructure as well, we announced last year at the AGM, the media release that we had, that we are looking at terminal buildings at Katima Mulilo, Rundu airports, and Ludritz airport as well. And it's really to ensure that we facilitate these movements seamlessly and to enhance the capacity of how we handle people at this airport. So we're really looking at how we can do better this year, to collaborate better, and to make sure that we partner with all the relevant stakeholders in moving this country forward.
Speaking now to the issue of the AGM, you did mention that there's a couple of infrastructure projects that were mentioned, and you mentioned specifically that the issue of terminal buildings was looked at. Can you just delve into some of the basic specifics, just to give an overview of where the airports company is going in terms of infrastructure and improving its airports?
Yes, first of all, the very key or very first that we are embarking upon, it's the tender or the project for the solar plants at our airports at Eros, Hosea Gutako, and Yandimba Toyo Airport in Ondangwa. Of course, again, like I said, the terminal buildings at these airports, of course, we know that airports company mandated by the people of Namibia is to develop and manage 8 national airports. We all know historically where these airports are coming from, except for Hosea Gutako and Eros maybe. These were sort of military airports back in the days before independence, and we have taken over them. We know in 2015 we inaugurated a new terminal building at Ondangwa Airport, renamed it Ndimbatoya Toivo. We have a brand new terminal building, I think in 2016, inaugurated by the late President Dr. Hage Geingob at Walvis Bay International Airport. Of course, we expanded the Hosea Gutako terminal building as well not so long ago, and that's why we are also looking at improving the facilities at Katima, Mulilo, Rundu, and Lutherets, because these are sort of in line with the national developmental objectives, your green hydrogen, your gas and oil discoveries, and so on. So as airports company, we are talking to the local authorities, we are talking to relevant people, of course our shareholder, the government, to make sure that we have the necessary resources to ensure that these projects do take off eventually. So it's a process that we have started and we will continue, and as soon as we are somewhere with it, of course the necessary again announcements in that regard will be communicated to the public. But for now, we are where we are, and those are just the plans that we have, and we will vigorously take them on to make sure that they come to fruition.
And then, in closing, recently there was a recent bomb scare at the Hosea Gutako International Airport. Now, one may call it a prank, or it could have been of a very serious nature. Just to what extent did this harm the operations at the Hosea Gutako International Airport, and what is your appeal to members of the public in terms of sending out these messages? How do you approach this, and what is the effect that it has at the end of the day?
Yes, we should. Our appeal as a airports company to the general public is that we should jealously guard our prosperity. We should jealously guard our developmental goals. Of course, the airport is very key to how we conduct business in this country. That's the gateway, especially Hosea Gutako International Airport is the gateway to Namibia, and it's very prudent that we all understand what the airport stands for, and really to understand what language should we use at the airport. There are certain words, not just at the airport, but anywhere around your social sphere, that you should not use. You can't use words like fire or bomb or gun and stuff like that at the public space, in a mall, at school. More so at the airport. And,
yes, of
and
course.
we know after 2011 what have happened in the US, that there are strict regulations really that we should all try to look into and understand. And obviously, airports company, together with all the stakeholders, we have the responsibility to educate our people as well on how to handle themselves at airports. And the bomb scare that happened, of course, it's something that was very unfortunate. Of course, people panicked, and thankfully, gratefully, nothing much came of it. And then going forward, we're really grateful that the cooperation from the stakeholders was very swift, and it was cleared immediately, and airport operations resumed immediately as well. It's a precautionary that at the time the airport was closed off, of course, for the necessary stakeholders to come in there and just do a cleanup and see what's going on, because safety and security is very paramount our operations, and that was what happened on the day. And going forward, we really call upon everyone to be vigilant, because safety is everyone's responsibility, and especially at the airports. And we continue to collaborate with everyone. We call upon the public to again be vigilant and report any suspicious looking equipment or any suspicious activity around the airport, because like I said, we play a big role in tourism development, and we all know how big tourism is in this country and how it contributes to our GDP. So we really need to jealously guard against acts of intimidation, acts of that can threaten our security and safety, especially at the airports. And together with all the stakeholders, especially the general public, the flying public, we need to do our best. We need to do our part to make sure that we take this country together as one.
Thank you very much for joining us on To The Point.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you for tuning in. See you next time.
And with that, we've come to the end of yet another exciting edition of your favorite travel show, Tourismus Namibia. Don't forget that NTV has turned 3 years old, and to celebrate these milestones, we will be having the annual NTV Awards on the 12th of Feb. So do tune in and enjoy as we celebrate NTV turning 3 years old.